Is there good and bad, right and wrong? Is it appropriate to make definite statements one way or another? Well, it's interesting because I just made a video, a little quick story on Instagram talking about behavior following another story that I had reposted. And simultaneously, one of my other spiritual friends made a video on how there is no right or wrong decision. And I just feel like whether or not there's right or wrong, good or bad, is a nuanced conversation. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. I'm Ann Blackwood, your Silicon Valley sage sister, here to bring consciousness to the forefront of your daily life to make life a little kinder and simpler. So, in the context of talking about the past, you may have heard me talk about this before. I would argue that having conversations about what was right and wrong ends up being a little silly because it's the past, it's happened. Whether or not it was good or bad is absolutely a conversation you can have, because you can tell whether or not it was good for you or bad for you, whether or not that was right or wrong. It's the past. It's time to learn the lesson from it, especially if you feel like it was bad for you, and move on. But that said, when it comes to getting into making decisions about the future, we can start to get into what's right and wrong, good or bad, because we can, with our internal compass, start to, as we hear that little voice of intuition within us, because we're starting to get out all of the outside noises that we've let in, we can start to hear what's right and wrong, good or bad. So the whole reason why this came up today is because I reposted a video of a woman taking a bite out of a piece of watermelon, leaving the rest of it there. And my commentary on this was that if you adjust your actions to excuse bad behavior, it's still bad behavior. So the question was, what do you do in your life when it comes to adjusting your actions to excuse bad behavior? Because I would argue that stealing something from someone is bad behavior, is wrong. Just saying. I think we could all agree that stealing things from people is generally wrong. And this market or whatever it is, that's their income. And so this person taking a bite out of this watermelon and then walking away even though they left the rest of it there, that's stealing. That's stealing, because now they cannot sell this piece of watermelon to anyone else, even if they left the rest of it there. They took a bite out of it, they took a part of it, that's stealing, and left the rest behind. And therefore making it damaged goods that they cannot sell. So in that sense, I would say that, like I said, that's wrong. And I then posted a little video clip of myself. Here you go. If you know it's wrong and then you think to yourself, well, maybe if I do it this way, it's not wrong, so wrong. It's still wrong. And granted, now it's out of context, posted separately from my stories, I would still argue that internally, we think about doing something. We know it's wrong. And then we go, oh, well, maybe if I do it this way, then it's not so bad. But it still results in the same outcome. I would argue that that is wrong. Now, what is right or wrong for you, good or bad for you, may be different than what is right or wrong for me, good or bad for me. So I'm not arguing that there is a singular right or wrong, good or bad for everybody, with the exception of a small handful of things. That said, what I will argue is that internally, we can tell what is right or wrong. And that can get skewed even. But at the end of the day, like I said, we can tell when something feels wrong, and then we will find some sort of way to justify it because you did it a little this way or a little that way that makes it a little different. But at the end of the day, you're resulting in the same outcome. You know, this woman could have picked up the whole watermelon and walked away, but instead she took a bite of it and left it. And for some reason, that adjustment in action to her in her mind, I mean, that's an assumption, really. She might have just been completely out of her mind and not thinking at all. We don't know what was happening with that woman, but for some reason in her mind, she decided that was okay. So all I would say to really wrap this up is that we have an inner guide, an inner voice, and sometimes we will excuse bad behavior that we know is wrong. And I'm not saying right or wrong in the context of necessarily the world. I'm just saying right or wrong for us. We will excuse that behavior because we feel we're doing it in a certain way, or maybe it won't result in the exact same outcome. But if it's wrong, it's wrong. You know it's wrong. You felt it from the beginning. It's wrong. So why are you making excuses at all for doing something that you know is wrong? Now, as I started, once it's already been done, the best thing we can do for ourselves is look back on it, ask ourselves, why was it bad? Because it is no longer right or wrong because it's been done. But it can then be good or bad. And why was it bad? Why shouldn't we do it again? Learn that lesson and then move on. Forgive yourself. And then when you find yourself in a circumstance next time where you hear that internal voice say, this is wrong, ask yourself, first of all, whose voice is this? Is this my voice? Is this someone else's voice? Is it truly right or wrong? Is it truly good or bad? But if the answer is, yeah, it's wrong, but I need it, or I want it, you know, to each their own, but it is wrong. Just saying. You know it's wrong. And your excuses, whatever they may be, are just that, excuses. So, yeah, I want you to ask yourself, and this is how I'll end this. What actions do you take that allow you to excuse your bad behavior? What actions or what excuses do you make for things that you do that you know are wrong? And why do you feel it is excusable to do the wrong thing ever? So, yeah. Thank you guys for joining me for another video. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think there's a universal right and wrong, good or bad? Individual right and wrong, good or bad? What do you think? I want to know. Tell me in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out the links in the description. That includes my free Ritualize Your Life workshop that's coming up soon. If you would like to get in on that, you got to sign up for my mailing list. I only do one email a month, if that. I don't spam. I don't send you emails just to remind you I exist. Only the latest and greatest. And that's how you get in on the free workshops and free guided meditations that I do. It also includes links like Patreon down in the description. I have my intuitive lifestyle course, guided meditations, Workshop replays, of course. Journal exercises, my Spirituality 101 and 2.0 series, and that all starts at as little as $23 a month. You get all of those things, and then I have 2 other membership tiers which have their own little special things going on, including working with me once a month, one-on-one. If you'd like to work with me more than once a month, you can sign up for my session packages. There's info on that down in the description with the link below, so don't forget to check that out. The link to dōTERRA, your one-stop shop for all of your natural living needs, like literally the best. Just saying. And as always, may the energies you serve you well. And don't forget to check out those links in the description. And let's keep making our way through, guys.